So yesterday we have created web service, deployed the web service, tested the web service, and consumed the web service. But yesterday we have consumed the web service using a normal Java program. Now, how to consume the web service using a servlet? So now today we are going to create a servlet. From that servlet, we are going to consume the web service. What is the web service that we have created yesterday? Add mob. Add mod. That is what the web service that we have created yesterday. And what are the operation that we have created? We have created add operation and modulo operation. So the procedure to create a simple servlet is go to file, new project, select Java web application, next, put the name for the project name and press next. Now once again select the server which you want. Okay. So give finish. So we have just created a web application. Web application 3 is what the name of the new application which we have created. In that, we need to create a servlet. So right click that application, new servlet. So make it new servlet 1. And it is asking the package name. So since there are no package have been created, we will create a new package called com. So under com, your new servlet will be residing.
Until sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So add information to deployment descriptor. This should be enabled so that you don't need to touch upon the web.xml file. The web.xml file will be automatically created and it will be get updated. Finish. We have a servlet right now. The system has created the servlet. Now, for this, we have already created a web service, right? So right click, create a web service client, select the web service project. Add mod web is what the thing which we have created yesterday. So select that one. Okay. So it is saying server not running. Why? Because we have not deployed today. First, we need to run that application. Add mod web. So I'm putting deployment. So during the deployment, your server will get run and as well as your project will get added onto the web server. So now once we created, once again we'll try to create the web service client. Yeah, now the problem has been resolved. So here com is a package which we have created that you have to select, click finish. Now we have added a web service client to your application. This is what the application which we have created. So what is the procedure we need to do? We need to just drag and drop the operation onto your servlet. So now add web service operation is available in the servlet. Now what is the thing which we need to do next is here inside the body section. Inside the body section, what I am going to do is I'm just going to assign the value for the two variables num1 and num2. Why? Because these two values needs to be passed to the add function, so that we are doing like this. So int sum is equal to add of num1 comma num2. Now out dot print ln. So inside the header, sum of two numbers. Sum. Yeah. Now the implementation has been completed. So actually we have not written any logic for addition of two numbers. We have just consumed the web service that we have created already. So now we are going to execute it. Web application 3. Clean and build. Yeah, it is running. So we'll launch the servlet. The answer should be 150. Yes. So when the servlet is running, it is showing the output as 150. So we have seen how to create a web service, how to deploy the web service, how to test the web service, how to consume the web service. So consumption of web service can be done in two ways. You can use servlet as well as you can use normal Java application. So that's it. Dhinakaran sir.
Yes, sir.
Over to you, sir.
Michael, sir. Yes, sir. Last. So last three 2.5 session, sir has explained about the topic web service and publisher and subscriber model. These are some of the topic. It's important in the unit 2. And again, we will continue the regular session. So from the 4th unit, I just recap what are the things we discussed in the previous session. We discussed in the fourth unit, it's purely based on the security. In the security, it is like how the security is working in the cloud. What is the role of security? It is how it's important in virtualization, and how we are going to protect the virtual resources and also cloud resources in the cloud environment. So this is what we discussed in the past sessions. Michael, sir. Okay.
Sir.
And now we are going to discuss the next level. I think, please unmute. Okay, sir. Mute your audio. Okay, thank you. So now we are going to discuss the topic is a software as a service security. So this is very important. Why in the curriculum they are given software as a service security? Because you remember about what are the layers we focus on the cloud. What are the components and what are the services owned by IaaS? What are the services and components owned by PaaS? And completely all the on-premises is owned by the software as a service provider. I think you remember from the hardware, right? From the hardware, we started from the storage, network, and servers, and also virtualization, runtime, data, and application. These are the things completely based on the requirements of cloud, the requirements of hardware. When we need this hardware, then only we are going to launch our services. This is not only applicable for traditional services, it is also applicable for cloud services. But in the curriculum, they are given software as a service security. Because why they focus on software as a service security? The complete setup we are going to provide. I am planning to provide my software as a service to my consumers or a public. So I need a complete resources. Only one thing I have, I need an idea. I need a logic. So I have a logic, I have my idea. So based on my idea, based on my logic, I need the resources. So I'm going to build my resources or develop my resources in the cloud environment. So this is actually, they are given the topic software as a service security. I directly move on to the biggest SaaS security risk. So this is the complete thing I taken from the research papers as well as some important blogs in security. So what are the risks and how the understanding the risk in the SaaS? So when we talk about SaaS, this is not only for a SaaS, it's completely based on your complete all the resources, the hardware resources, virtual machines, and also for your application. Finally, what is the purpose of we are using the application? The processing of data. The application ultimately either it is a finance application, it's dealing the finance concerns, or if it is like any other game application, or it's like any other research application. So everything is based on some data. What does it mean that the first risk is called phishing? Phishing is actually the process of it's a fraudulent, it is unauthorized persons. They are going to do some kind of unauthorized things like you know about that phishing sites and phishing attacks and something. So this is the first risk in the SaaS. So the concern related to the cloud-based attacks, with over 90% of cyber attacks resorting to phishing emails. So they are going to send a mail. So we are sending a mail from AWS. We are sending a mail from Azure Cloud. We are providing such a type of offers to your organization. So we are giving this type of benefits. So nowadays, true messages, authorized messages, how we are receiving from Amazon Prime. So you have account in AWS cloud. So alternatively, so even what are the products they have, right? In AWS, what are the products they have? AWS, so Amazon, they have a sales, and Amazon, they are concentrate on even movies, and these are the things related to their product. They are sending a mail. Likewise, they are sending some of the phishing mails to the persons. So when we are going to try to access the resources, so ultimately they can hack our accounts and something. So even this is one of the risk in SaaS security. Second one is account takeover. So this is next level, how they are going to ATO, how the ATOs are working. Completely they are going to take over your account. So how the process is happening. So likewise, they are sending frequently mails and frequently accessing your data. They are trying to inject your data. That thing we will discuss in the upcoming topics. A concern related to ATOs involving the threat actor compromising the corporate credentials of an employee. A credential phishing campaign against an organization or phishing credentials on the Dark web. It is usually past 2 years, even the students are aware of that. What is the dark web? It is usually adapted with the attain the take over your account. I think one of the very familiar movie in Tamil. It is based on completely a dark web, how it is working, how they are going to getting the data through your even the QR code travel the ticket QR code. Based on that they catch the travel history and how you book the ticket or when you started and where you dropped in each and every data they are going to capture, and also based on your signature, so how they are going to get it your data and how they are make the transactions. These are the things you already aware of that this is actually the account takeover based on the web and phishing methods. And next risk is called data access risk. What does it mean that basically data access risk? It is actually giving the information and data. The data is actually a sensitive data to a third party. For example, someone they call, I think I received, yes, I received 2 WhatsApp messages 2 days before. One person is from North India, is talking, it is talking somewhat, Tamil is not clear, but even though you try to talk completely in Tamil and he talk to the person, he is actually working in SBI. In the SBI person, he talk about, I am calling from SBI, I need your credit card information. These are the numbers. So he's asking, the number is, I can say the number is wrong. And then if the concerned person said, I have a card HDFC, then again the person said, I am working HDFC also. So likewise, they just continuously try to collect your information. So someone they said maybe this is very familiar 5 years 6 years before. Some of the close friend he become a friend. Then he said your favorite movie, your favorite food and your data, but your favorite actors. I think hope you remember. One of the newest friend enter try to chat with you. First they ask like this only. This is also some concern related to getting the information about your data. So based on that, for example, the security questions like even though in a top organization, best teacher and best actor, best movie, best friend, like your first mobile number, your bike number, your vehicle number. So likewise, the questions will look like. So these are the methods to catch your information. This is one type of risk they are given in the SaaS security. Then lack of transparency. What does mean that lack of transparency? The concern related to service providers, lack of transparency on the handling of security protocols. Because why they said lack of transparency? Transparency in terms of cloud, what is the service as a service provider I'm going to provide to my consumer, and also what is the consumer is consume the resources from the service provider. What are the security parameters they are using? What are the signature they are using? How the policy they are made it in the SLA. Everything, if it is transparency, we easily aware of that whether they are our service provider or they are the fishers are they are like attackers, they are like ATOs, right? So easy to identify this. This is one of the risky parameter in lack of transparency. And lack of federated identity management. Actually, what does mean that lack of federated identity management? The employees may have multiple identities at multiple SaaS providers, because not only a single service provider is going to provide a service, like either it's in a Salesforce.com, either it's in a Google Cloud, either it's an Amazon Web Services. So we have a multiple service providers. Even I have a multiple credentials to access my multiple service providers. So after the termination of an employee, automatically shutting off the access isn't possible. So we try to manage the federated identity. So once we are going to terminate the employee, so we can revoke our access permissions. So we can manage all those things. So that is one of the risky parameters. And next one is called lack of robust service level agreement. So purely based on your SLAs, the concern related to the lack of robust service level agreement and contracts, which may not be able to hold people accountable when something is happened. So how they are going to make the policy? It's based on the contract as well as the agreement with the providers as well as the requesters. And next one is very familiar terminology. We are frequently vendor lock-in. The vendor lock-in here is a concern related to lack of interoperability among the vendors. So how they are going to access the resources from various devices, so how it is interoperable with the resources, which places the companies at risk if a SaaS provider goes out of business or gets acquired by the competitors. How can they manage the resources? So here it is possible to once I'm going to migrate my service or a resource from one SaaS provider to another SaaS provider. So how can the vendor lock-in act as a vital role? So that's very important risk parameter here. And identity theft, as I said in the three like data access risk. So likewise, this is a concern related to identity theft that stems from managing access and lack of robust solutions. Again and again, multiple parameters what we discussed in the previous. So likewise, the identity theft. So based on your email ID, based on your some of the unique identity. So based on that, they can catch your information, they can theft your information. Through that, they can access their own data. For example, if I know about your password, I know about your username, what I'm going to do? Simply, I try to access your data. So based on this, one of the risky. Then data theft. Ultimately, nowadays, very familiar theft is data theft. Very important data theft is so who is going to hold the data in the cloud? Those who are processing the data and those who are providing the service, those who are sharing the information in the cloud. So everybody, they are focusing, they are just hold the data in the cloud. Because of the ultimate objective of the cloud and the characteristics of cloud, we can access our data anywhere, and also we can share and we can work our data anywhere, any location in a pervasive manner. Right? So concern related to the risk of data breach, the data stored in SaaS application could be financial information, customer data, intellectual property. This is actually very important nowadays, intellectual property. When you are going to search any research articles or anything related to the new topics, we will see in the URL, it's like a Google patent, it's like a Amazon patent, it's like an individual Intel patent or individual person, it will come in the intellectual property because of the idea theft, right? So I just propose a new idea, I just propose a new technology, I just propose the easiest solution for some biggest task. These are the things they are going to file in the intellectual property, and also the idea will be theft. So this is happen based on your data theft. So and the personality identifiable information, cyber criminals usually target the attacks to exploit such a data. So these are the some of the data nowadays they focus on the customer data. Based on the customer data theft, so I can continuously send various messages. Now even a simple process is like renew your insurance of vehicle. So you already have a vehicle in ICICI, or you already have a vehicle insurance in some of the company. But anyway, various brokers, they can continuously calling you. So we are going to give this type of offer to you. We are going to give this type of offer to you. How they are going to getting the information? So customer data and financial information. Even you are going to see something in I want to apply a personal loan. So I just search something in the bankbazaar.com. What are the bank sectors they are offering such as? So once the data is entered, ultimately from the after 5 minutes, I'm getting frequent calls from the various banking agents. They said we are providing personal loan this much, and our interest is this much. So these are the things how they are going to theft the data. So these are the authorized data. I'm talking about thefting that based on the data they are going to theft, and based on that they try to do something called phishing, like they are going to do the forgeries, like this, please deposit 5,000 rupees, then we will give a processing 5,000 rupees of processing charge. Again, we are going to provide this is a refundable amount. So these are what are the things we are seeing related to the data. It's ultimately based on this data theft happening in the cloud base. This is one of the major risks in cloud. Lack of modern security standards. What is this lack of modern security standards? Because of the security standards out of date they are using. So old type of security standards. So each and every time, each and every day, they just update their own certifications, which one is very highly protective. So protect our data and site and everything. So this is one of the parameter. And unknowns of new malwares, and this is the next level. So even this is not only for cloud side, this is also applicable for your local disk side. In the local disk side, how they are going to protect our system, and also how we are going to protect our cloud side. So based on this risk, so how to avoid the things will come in the next slides. So compliance and audits. So compliance and audits are very important in the cloud because of resource auditing, and also we are focusing on the complaints in cloud. How the what are the risk they are going to facing on the consumer side. So I am accessing my cloud. So in my configuration or when I am going to do any task, that time I felt somewhat it's missing. So it will take a processing time is high, and it is not accept my data. So such a type of things how I am going to handle all the things. So compliance is very important here, and audits. So based on the concern related to the lack of following government mandates, including GDPR and regulations for industries such as retail, PCA, DSS, and healthcare, and also for finance, they have some audit and these things. So here also we need to focus on the security risk as there, and threats within means actually inter, right? Insider attacks, they are also try to act as a malicious users. So they are also a user inside your cloud. They just try to access the others resources and also their own organization resources. So these are the major risk and SaaS security. Phishing, account takeover, data access link, lack of transparency, lack of federation identity management, lack of robust service level agreement, vendor lock-in, identity theft, data theft, and lack of modern security standards, unknown of new malwares and zero-day threats and complaints and audits, and finally threats within the cloud. Then what are the solutions? The best practice to protect your SaaS application. What is actually the securely and successfully protect your SaaS application? It is necessary to committed to implement the best in class SaaS security. So how I'm going to protect my data? So accessing the security threats and risks in the context of your SaaS application can help you to understand your application vulnerability. Because of vulnerability means how my complete service, how my site and how my resources are vulnerable. So how it will be protected? So based on that, they check the vulnerability. Once the vulnerabilities are understood, you can protect not only the vulnerable expert, but also adapt the solution that protects your SaaS application from the newest risk. So the major thing here from the previous discussion of various risks are there. So here, what are the things? The objective here is I need to protect my complete zone. So I'm going to provide my services through my site. So I need to protect my complete zone, and also I need to update all the things. So new protocols I need to update, and also for audit and everything. What are the site? The policies and what are the agreements I want to commit with the consent. So we need to commit all the things. So continuously I want to monitor all those things. That is the best solution for protect your SaaS application. We'll see one by one. Developing a security review checklist. That is very important. What does it mean that security review checklist? The security review checklist is may vary. It is depending on the nature of the platform. It is not only, for example, the design of the platform AWS is different. The design of the Azure is different. The design of the Google is different. The design of the IBM is different. But anyway, I need a checklist for check my all the data or everything. For example, for a data side, for application side, for a platform side, for an infrastructure side, for a network side, whether I given the protection or not. So I need to prepare the checklist. But regularly reviewing and updating the checklist with the newer threats would help to prioritize application quickly and securely. That is the first solution. So whether regularly I will update, whether it is checked or not. Like a normal checklist. For example, I have a checklist. I prepare the checklist I pasted the checklist in your classroom. I have 51 students, whether they submitted the assignment one, attend the quiz one. So just tick, tick, tick. Regularly, if I am doing that, those who are not doing properly, those who are not submitted properly, that is the easiest way to identify all those things and find out the defaulters. So likewise, they are develop the checklist. The checklist is regularly we need to update, and we are going to mark it in the sites. And educating the employees. What does it mean that educating the employees? This is a normal terminology, but this is very important. So educating the employee, it's actually it's a prudent to provide a security training for all the employees. It is an excellent practice to avoid sharing account, and the right solution would be create distinctive user accounts. Actually, the educating the employee, I just given to this, I offer the service to my organization. They know how to access the service, they know how to configure the service, but they are not aware of that what is actually the security parameters are okay. I'm talking about for student side, right? So I said, so tomorrow onwards, I'm planning to handle the class. So from this, I just given the link and everything. Before that, I just educate you how to access the tool, how to present, how to record, and how to share the attachment. These are the things. Likewise, for employee side, in the security concern, we need to educate the employee how to access the resources. Right? They are not actually actually log into the site directly. They have a two-factor authentication, 2FA on the all logins. What is actually the two-factor authentication? Those who are maybe your brothers and sisters, they are working in MNC. It is like a safe code is one of the very familiar in TCS. They are given like it's looked like a calculator in the safe code. When you try to connect, so it is it will provide some number. It is like one type of authentication. Another side they receive maybe through their mobile number. So through the two-factor authentication, maybe you have a password that is a password 1, and another one is called the safe code that is a second 2, a second so that they use two-factor authentication on the logins. If any particular factor is wrong, any particular password is wrong, you are not able to log in. And making provision for role-based access features that would allow the setting of user specific access and editing the permission for data. So employees are proactive when you regularly keep them updating with the organization security principles and policies. If you regularly updating the security principles and policies to the employee, yes, they are completely aware of their zone, how we need to protect our data. I said for you I assign this type of task. I said for you I assign this type of assignment and pace. So you are going to do your own job, you are getting a good mark. Likewise, I said the employee, I educated the employee related to the security concern, how they protect their own data, how they are going to familiar about their security policies and principles. So easily they can protect their own data. They don't depend on even next security and firewall side. So this is educating the employees, second solution to protect your data. And third one is creating cohesive security culture. What does mean that actually the cohesive security culture? A security culture is all encompassing and has a positive benefits such as creating security component who encourage and enforce security across the entire organization. So the security components are usually go for all the security related challenges and solutions. So we need, they are inside the employers, so we need to encourage them to create this such a type of, accessing and challenge, approaching the challenging related to this cohesive security cultures. So this is one of the parameter for solution. So like I said, one of the story for maybe you remember about this Ankit Fadia. Ankit Fadia is actually like a challenging person. He hacked the Microsoft on 2 decades before. So Microsoft identified the person, and then he just Microsoft identified the person. He hacked the Microsoft server. Then again, Microsoft is appointed as a person. He is the security of the Microsoft. So he is protecting the Microsoft server. So likewise, their own organization, they create the challenges and solutions. So we try to attack, we try to hack our data. So then we easily find out what is the vulnerable here, what is the problem here. Once we find out here, yes, this is a problem. Resources are investing in the service of security engineer can help to deal efficiently with the security tasks in the organization. So this is a directly we can hiring the security resources and educating your customers also. So as an employee, I educated, these are the things you need to provide a service to the customer like this. Then I educated to my customers how to access the resources. Even your ATM cards, when you are going to even a banking sector also, we are receiving the SMS continuously in the quarantine time. They said, don't share your OTP, don't share your CVV, don't share your card number. This is what actually how to educate the customers, how to protect the banking accounts. So ultimately, I am a cloud user, they just sending documents, and this they make a call and explain about, so you are aware of this type of thing. Don't share your information to anyone. So this is actually educating your customers how to access the resources. Protecting the employees is an important visit, and similarly protecting the customers is a very critical, and your clients can be undergo almost the same training. That is what I said. So one of the thing, if the customers are not aware of how to access the resources, one of the risks we discuss account takeover fraud. So easily they can catch their information, and then they take over the accounts. The next one is enforcing data deletion policy. What is this actually, enforcing data deletion policy? I remember this question asked by Kalish from third year B. Sir, once we deleted our resources in VM, how the data is, because of the same VM is assigned to some other person in future, how our data is protected? He asked the same question. I explained on the day. Personally, he asked. Then again, here the enforcing data deletion policy. It is essential to define how the customer data should be stored and also deleted, right? Like you are truncate and delete. The memory data deleted, but a schema is available. A schema is also deleted. Memory only remain in the space. Likewise, it is essential to define how the customer data should be stored and also deleted, ensuring that customer data is systematically are programmatically deleted as per the customer contract. The contract is based on your SLA. Contract is a priority and quite often legal requirements. Protecting sensitive data. It is crucial to protect the main application and database to ensure that sensitive data is safe from attacks, such as it pays to continuously monitor and look out of the tricks of such as frequent attacks that can help you to counteract it swiftly. You can also consider protecting your APIs, like how the databases look like. What is the sensitive data? So they said injection attacks. So when you focus on so when somebody they attack us, they try to talk, they try to interact with your database, right? Interact with your database. Database also sometimes try to interact with the attackers. So how we can prevent the injections through, like your SQL injections, how we are going to prevent, how we are going to protect our data. That is based on the protecting the sensitive data. It is one of the important solutions here. And the next one is incorporating security in software development lifecycle process. So a software development lifecycle process helps the security review at every phase, because of we know that. So some of the authors, based on the authors, we have a different phase. But anyway, the organized phase is collecting the requirement and design, and also coding, implementation and deployment, testing and deployment, and also how we are going to maintain our. So each and every phase, how we are going to provide the security. Even if everything is happened in a systematic manner, the approach creates a stronger application, and you can implement secure coding best practice, especially during the code review. Why they focus on this STLC? If you manually doing the STLC process, that is totally different. For example, I am getting the project from client. Let us assume you are working in the MNC. In the MNC, the complete same branch not going to develop the application. For example, at TCS Chennai, we have almost 4 to 5 branches. In the 5 branches, branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, database is 1 branch, and UI is 1 branch. Another one is for deployment. Another one is for testing. Another one is for maintenance. So the various branches they have. This is a manual process. They developed and they hosted it. But in software as a service, everything is happened inside the cloud. So that how to protect all the things, that's very important here. And securing a deployment. Deployment can be either done on public cloud or a SaaS vendor. When opting for self deployment, you need to research truly and adapt adequate the safeguards. So when I'm going to do the deployment, when I'm going to launch my application through the SaaS vendors, so how can I protect? So integrating real-time protection, incorporating real-time monitoring to the protection logic into the code at the development stage can help the differentiate between the legitimate queries and attacks. So this is actually everything is happened inside your SaaS. So this is another security checklist. What I said in the first. So employees means beginning everyone same page with the good security practice. preventing sharing user accounts, encryption. So these are the common terminology. Enforcing two-phase authentication using password managers, monitoring user computer, hiring the security resources. And next one is coding side. Automating security with the software development life cycle. Why you just focus on this? This is everything happen inside your cloud, so that they are explaining. They just try to expose this coding also. Enforcing secure code review checklist using the secure development life cycle, performing security oriented test sessions, and integrating identity and access management. This is very important. We'll discuss in the last topic of your fourth unit. And account provisioning system, including log and event notification, those who all are entering and those who what they are doing and everything, and ensuring scalability and fault tolerance. If it is any need to increase my I will provide, I just give the access permission to number of users, how I'm going to increase in my site. And also if it is failure will occur, how can I overcome, how can I solve my failure? That is actually the fault tolerance. Testing for security vulnerabilities, information gathering vulnerabilities such as application discovery, application entry points, and more are related to your testing. And configuration management vulnerabilities such as access to admin interfaces, secure socket layer weakness, and everything. And authorization vulnerability related to your password and your path, how we are going to data are moving, and role of manipulation, and more things are there. And data validation vulnerabilities such as SQL, LDAP, SMTP, code injection. These are other things. So how we are going to test. So we need to test, and we provide the security. An application side checklist is automating security once the app is production, using real-time production service, keep track of your dependencies, checking whether the SAAS application support to SMEL. Already I given the abbreviation SMEL. I'll ask tomorrow. Checking whether the application support including SCIM or SPML or Q authenticate or multiple factors authentication, and more things are there. Checking whether the application offer the desktop clients and data. Checking whether the application support the automated import of identity such as activity discovery. Checking whether the application. These are the checklist, right? So additionally, I have given here. And infrastructure, backing up the testing backup and checking your application security, monitoring internal services, monitoring exposed services, using cryptography on application and API to even infrastructure also. For organization, you have these things, protection of phishing and everything. What are the risk and solution we discuss? The same thing they have given here also. And finally, encouraging users of two-factor authentication, encouraging password policy, enforcing the password policy, monitoring the suspicious activities for the application users, those you all are using your cloud. And SaaS service providers, check your uptime SLA provided by the service provider, how the service provider offer phone support, whether they service provided to the web console and infrastructure status, checking the compliance and certification obtained, what we have discussed in the previous slide, how the auditing and certification. So any type of certification we have. Checking the physical locations of your site, checking how the providers encrypt the data, and also how the requesters are decrypting the data. That's very important. Checking whether the provider stores the PII. Finally, checking whether the provider application single tenant or multi-tenant application. So these are for the checklist we need to maintain, and we protect our cloud security. So any doubt on today's session? Yes. So majorly you focus on the risk and solutions. So checklist, why I given the checklist? Checklist is very important. We need to check whether my services are protective or not. So based on that, I just protect my complete services from the employee side, from the provider side, from also the consumer side. Any doubt on today's session? Yes. If you have a doubt, please post it. Otherwise, unmute your mic and ask the doubt. Michael sir.
Sir.
Michael sir. Okay. Students, I'm asking any doubt. If you have a doubt, please post it in the chat box. Okay, thank you. We'll see you in the next class. And one more thing, many of you not submitted your assignment. Please submit your assignment. The deadline is already over, right?